There is peace, peace. There's no confusion there. In my Father's house, Muslim. In my Father's house, Muslim. In my Father's house, there's no confusion there. In my Father's house, there is peace, peace, peace. They all love over there. In my Father's house, Muslim. In my Father's house, Muslim. In my Father's house, they all love over there. In my Father's house, there is peace, peace, peace. So come and go with me to my Father's house. Muslim. To my Father's house, Muslim. To my Father's house. Come and go with me to my Father's house. There is peace, peace, peace.
All right, face the east. Feet 45 degrees on both sides, making a 90-degree angle. 5 fingers on the left, 2 on the right. Repeat after me the Moorish American prayer. Allah, the Father of the universe.
Allah, the Father of the universe,
The Father of love.
the Father of love,
Truth.
truth,
Peace.
peace,
Freedom.
freedom,
And justice.
and justice.
Allah is my protector.
Allah is my protector,
My guide.
my God,
And my salvation.
and my salvation.
By night.
By night,
And by day.
by day,
Through his holy prophet.
His holy prophet,
Jew Ali.
through Ali.
Amen.
Amen.
First, I rise to give praise to Allah, Father of the universe. I give honor to his holy illustrious prophet, Noble Jew Ali, the savior of humanity. I give honor to all true divine prophets, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, Confucius, etc. I give honor to the past supreme President, moderator, Moore Side Secular of America, Brother C. Kirkwood Bray, Brother F. Nelson Bay, Brother J. Blakely Bay. I give honor to the past supreme grand advisor, moderator, Brother R. Love Ill, and our present grand sheik and moderator, Brother R. Jones Bay, and his assistant, Brother A. Hopkins Bay. I give honor to the Grand Governor of the State of New York, Brother D. Clark Ill, and his assistant, Brother A. Gaines Ill. I give honor to the Grand Sheik of the Temple Number 34, Brother W. Clendenin Bay, his assistant, Sister C. Ill. Give honor to the Secretary of, I give honor to the Chairman of Temple Number 34, Brother C. Ferguson Ill, and his assistant, Brother L. Serrano Bay. I give honors to the Secretary, Sister J. Jordan Ill, and her assistant, Brother I. Smith Ill. I give honors to the Treasurer, Brother R. Jordan Ill, and his assistant, Brother K. Turner Bay. I give honor to everything that the Prophet brought for the uplifting of state of humanity and to everything pertaining to Islam. I'm gonna take a read from the laws of the divine constitution and bylaws of the Moorish Science Temple of America, salvation, Star Crescent, our God, all seeing eye, unity, hand press. The Moorish Science Temple of America, divine constitution and bylaws. Act 1. The Grand Sheik and the chairman of the Moorish Science Temple of America is empowered to make law and enforce laws with the assistance of the Prophet and the grand body of the Moorish Science Temple of America. The assistant Grand Sheik is to assist the Grand Sheik in all affairs if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and it is known before the members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Act 2. All meetings are to be opened and closed promptly according to the Circle 7 and love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is our holy day of rest because on Friday, the first man was formed in flesh, and on a Friday, the first man departed out of flesh and ascended unto his Father God, Allah. For that cause, Friday is the holy day for all Muslims all over the world. Act 3. Love, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all members of the Science Temple of America. No member is to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion at all that may harm his brother or sister because Allah is love. Act 4. All members must preserve these holy and divine laws, and all members must obey the laws of the government, because by being a Moorish American, you are part and parcel of the government and must live the life accordingly. Act 5. This organization of the Moorish Science Temple of America is not to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws and constitution of the said government, but to obey hereby. Act 6. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are part and parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folk, Black peoples, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Drew Ali, the prophet, to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites whom inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and parcel of all uplifting acts of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Members must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become a part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, through the guidance of his father, God Allah. Noble Drew Ali, founder, Moorish American Prayer. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation by night and by day through his holy prophet, Drew Ali. Amen. I took a reading from the Moorish Science Temple of America, Divine Constitution and Bylaws. I'm going to take a read from the Great Meaning is on Quran questions for more. Page 7. Questionnaire and additional laws for the Moorish Americans by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Act 1. Grand sheikhs and governors and heads of all temples, all businesses. Each said temple must be approved by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Before acting upon by any members, let it be finance, property, or any line of life that will cause the members to sacrifice, etc., that will cause the support of any group of members. Any former officer that violates these laws is subject to be removed from his office under heavy restrictions, etc., by the Prophet or the Grand Sheikh. Act 2. All members are to attend their added meetings and their public meetings promptly. If a member is found standing around on their meeting period, shall be fined 50 cents on the first case, and on the second, he will be fined $1, which will go on your emergency fund. If member is working, his monthly dues must be paid. And if he has money in the bank, he must subscribe for as much as he is able to the Moorish Uplifting Fund, because it takes finance to uplift the nation. Act 3. It is lawful and divine duty of every good member, if he is able in finance, to aid me in saving the nation. And if he does not, he is an enemy to the cause of uplifting his own people, and justice must catch you. Let it be he or she according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, as I have the power invested in my hands, and I will have to enforce the law in order to save the nation. Act 4. All members, while making a public speech, must not use any assertion against the American flag or speak radical against the church or any member of any organized group, because we are to teach love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Act 5. All members must properly attend their meetings and send their children to Sunday school, and the teacher must confirm himself to the questionnaire, and let every member exercise his 5 senses who is able to do so, because out from your Sunday school comes the guidance of the nation. Act 6. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are part and parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folk, Black people, or Ethiopian, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Jew Ali, the prophet, to free his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and a parcel of all uplifting acts of the Moorish Science Temple. Members must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of the Moorish Science Temple. Then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet, Noble Jew Ali, through the guidance of his father God Allah. Now just took a read from the questionnaire and additional laws for Moorish Americans by Prophet Noble Jew Ali. I want to take a read from the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, Circle 7 symbol, divinely prepared by the Noble Prophet Jew Ali, by the guidance of his father God Allah, the great God of the universe, to redeem man from his sinful and fallen stage of humanity back to the highest plane of life with his father God Allah. I'm going to go to page 10. Divine instructions from the Holy Prophet, chapter 5. After the feast, the homeward journey, the missing Jesus, the search for him. His parents find him in the temple. He goes with them to Nazareth, symbolic meaning of carpenter's tool. The great feast of the Paschas ended, and the Nazarenes were journeying toward their home. And they were in Samaria. And Mary said, "Where is my son? No one has seen the boy." And Joseph saw among their kindred who were on their way to Galilee, but they had seen him not. Then Joseph, Mary, and the son of Zebedee returned and sought through all Jerusalem, but could find him not. And Mary asked the guards, had they seen Jesus, a little boy, about 12 years old? The guards replied, "Yes, he is in the temple now, disputing with the doctors of the law." And they went in and found him as the guard had said. And Mary said, "Why, Jesus, why do you treat your parents thus? Lo, we have sought 2 days for you. We feared that some great harm had overtaken you." And Jesus said, "Do you not know that I must be about my Father's work?" But he went round and pressed the hand of every doctor of the law and said, "I trust that we meet again." And then he went forth with his parents on their way to Nazareth. And when they reached their home, he wrought with Joseph as a carpenter. One day, as he was bringing forth the tools for work, he said, "These tools remind me of the ones we handle in the workshop of the mind, where things are made of thought and where we build up character. We use the square to measure all our lines, to straighten out the crooked places and make the corners of our conduct square. We use the compass to draw the circles around our passions and desires, to keep them in the bounds of righteousness. We use the axe to cut away the knotty, useless, and ungainly parts and make the character symmetrical. We use the hammer to drive home the truth and pound it in until it is a part of every part. We use the plane to smooth the rough, uneven surface of joint and block and board that go to build the temple for the truth. The chisel, line, the plummet, and the saw are uses in the workshop of the mind. And then this ladder with its trinity of steps, faith, hope, and love. On it we climb to the dome of purity and life. And on the 12-step ladder, we ascend until we reach the pinnacle of that which life is spent to build the temple of perfected man." I've read the chapter 5 from the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America I'd like to thank everyone for coming out to, Quran class. And I want to turn the meeting over to the Grand Sheik Brother that we put in the bay. Peace.
I can't see Allah, but I feel him in my bones. Oh, I feel him in my bones. Oh, I feel him in my bones. Oh, I can't see Allah, but I feel him in my bones. Feels like fire stirred up, fire stirred up, fire stirred up all in my bones, in my bones. We're the nearest place to meet him. We meet them all in our hearts. Oh, we meet them all in our hearts. Oh, we meet them all in our hearts. We're the nearest place to meet him. We meet them all in our hearts. Feels like fire stirred up, fire stirred up, fire stirred up all in my bones, in my bones. What's your nationality? It is Moorish American, same as Noble Drew Ali, same as Noble Drew Ali. What's your nationality? It is Moorish American, same as Noble Drew Ali, same as Noble Drew Ali. Feels like fire stirred up, fire stirred up. Fire stirred up all in my bones, in my bones. When you meet a group of Moors, raise your right hand, say Islam. Raise your right hand, say Islam. Raise your right hand, say Islam. When you meet a group of Moors, raise your right hand, say Islam. Feels like fire stirred up, fire stirred up. Fire stirred up all in my bones, in my bones. Islam, Moorish America. Islam. Praise Allah. Praise Allah. Why don't the Moors online come in and say Islam? Who do we have, Brother Smithfield? You say their names. Islam. Islam. Yes. Mr. S. Nunley Bey. Islam. Your brother. Islam. This is trying to.
May I identify myself by reading my nationality and identification card? That's the way I identify myself in the sacred school of learning.
Well, go ahead.
Born 19 what? 39. Sister S. Cook Nunley Bey. This is your nationality and identification card for the Moorish Science Temple of America and birthrights for the Moorish Americans, etc., etc. We honor all divine prophets, Jesus, Mohammed, Buddha, and Confucius. May the blessings of the God of our Father, Allah, be upon you that carry this card. I do hereby declare that you are a Muslim under the divine laws of the Holy Quran of Mecca. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. I am a citizen of the USA. Noble Drew Ali the Prophet. Peace.
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 Peace. You didn't give me the address in 1939, sister.
1930.
What address you got on there?
Hey, see, the address I have on there is Home Office, 2905 5th Street, Southeast, Washington, D.C., 20032. Our cards and all need to be updated to one address because we got different addresses. Peace.
Praise Allah. Who else do we have? Brother Lawrence, I'm not sure. Brother Lawrence? Brother Debbie Brockenberry Bey. Brother Brockenberry Bey. Islam on?
Islam.
Islam, Brother Brockenberry Bey. Sister Bass Bey. Sister Ann Harper Bey. Sister Harper Bay.
Is Islam,
Unmute your phone. Islam, unmute your phone to say Islam.
Islam, Sister Ann Harper Bay in the house, Islam, Temple
Islam.
number 1.
Brother Ryder Ill, I see you, Brother L. Ryder Ill.
Islam Moors.
Brother
Islam,
Amin
Brother L.
Bay.
Right Hill, Temple number 1.
Praise Allah.
Islam, Moorish Americans. Praise Allah.
Yes.
Praise Allah. Brother Shaw Ill, Basiris Ill, so I'm a former Grand Sheik, Brother King Bay. All right, Brother Spalding Bay, praise Allah. All right. Let's see. All the Moors, why don't you give a brief praise and honors. Sister Nully Bay, real short. Lead the Moors in praise and honors in the Zoom.
Brother, can you please have someone else to read? Because my
All
mouth
right,
is tired from reading what I did because I'm having some dental work done.
I got you. Sister Grand Sheik is Sister Harper Bay. A real short honors and praise for the Moors online.
Islam, you want what you want me to do, Brother W. Kadena Bay?
Islam.
Lead the Moors that are on Zoom in a brief praise and honors.
Islam, praise Allah, praise Allah, praise Allah. Honors to Prophet Noble Drew Ali. We give honors to all prophets. We give honors to our press, grand advisors, and leaders. Brother C. Kermit Bay, Brother F. Nelson Bay, Brother Jacob Bakley Bay. We give honors to all Moors, past and present. We give honors to the two flags combined, the American flag, which we were all born under, and the Moorish American flag, the flag which the prophet brought for us. We give honors to our orties and compounds. We give honors to all our sisters and brothers. We give honors to the national officials. We give honors to the state officials and their assistance. We give honors to the local officials and their assistance. We give honors to all sheiks and sheikesses. We give honors to all members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. We give honors to all visitors of the Moorish Science Temple of America. We give honors to all the children of the Moorish Science Temple of America. We give honors to everything for the uplifting of fallen humanity. We give honors to Brother W. Clinton Bay for inviting us into Temple number 34 and parenting us and helping us. We appreciate everything. We give honors to all members of Temple number 34. We feel like we're part of your extended family, and we thank you so very much. Praise Allah and the prophets. We give honors to everything for the uplifting of fallen humanities. Thank you, brother. Thank you, Brother W. Kim Bender Bay.
I hate to see your long honors. Praise Allah. All the Moors that are on Zoom, you can mute yourself for now. If you have a question or anything, you can unmute yourself or press the hand signal, and the secretary will let us know that you're there. So all the Moors that are in the temple, if you could stand up, and we'll give praise and honors together. Islam, Sister Autumn, I hate to interrupt you.
So she came up, so she had dinner plate.
All right.
I get up.
Islam Moors.
Islam.
Rise and give praise to Allah.
We rise to give praise to Allah,
Father of the universe.
Father of the universe.
We honor the Prophet Noble Drew Ali.
We give honor to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali,
Founder of the Moorish Science of America.
founder of the Moorish Science Temple of America.
We honor to our two flags.
We give honor to our two flags,
We give honor to everything Sister Jones Bay gave honor to.
and we give honor to everything Sister Jones Day gave honor to.
Peace.
Hey,
If I must say, she did a beautiful job.
I second
You
that
know,
motion.
that's when the prophet said, if you're ready, stay ready. If you're not, get ready.
Praise Allah.
All right?
Beautiful.
So it was like on the moment. I didn't even think about it. It just happened at the moment. And the sister was like, okay, what do you need me to do? I said, do this. And she did exactly that. So praise Allah.
Beautiful
You know?
job.
Praise Allah. More, it's a beautiful spring day here in New York. You know, and when you think about the spring, or when I think about the spring, I think about the resurrection. Right? We go from the dead of winter, right? And come back to life from being dead. And the resurrection has another opportunity. So praise Allah to be here in the temple and have an opportunity. It's good to have our brothers and sisters from temple number 1. Good to have Sister Nunley Bay with us. Islam.
And from Brother Shaw.
Brother Shaw Ill. Islam, Brother Shaw Ill.
Islam, praise Allah and honors to Holy Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And again, honors to all things previously given honors to.
All right, praise Allah. I'm glad you volunteered. All right, so you're always looking for those volunteers. So let's go, Brother Shoya. Who made you?
Allah.
Who is Allah?
Allah is the Father of the universe.
Brother Shoya.
Islam,
Yes.
Allah is the Father of the universe.
Can we see him?
No,
Where's the nearest place we can meet him?
in the heart.
Question.
Hold on, sister, hold on. Who is Noble Drew Ali?
He is
Allah's
Allah's
prophet.
prophet.
Thank you, Brother Shoya. You want
Islam,
some questions,
praise
Sister Nellie Bay?
Yes. It is the first
You ready?
question. Islam. I give praise
made
and
it?
honor to everything.
All right. Who made the devil?
Islam. My question.
No. I got a question. This it. I didn't ask people for questions yet. Because what we
Okay.
do is go to the questionnaire, but I'm happy that you and Brother Shoya would like to volunteer. So I have some questions for you, Sister Nellie Bay. Are you ready?
You muted yourself.
Sister Nellie Bay, I'm talking to you. You gotta unmute yourself. All right. It's okay. I'll get back to you.
Islam, you trying to reach me?
No, I'm trying to reach Joe.
This is Sister Nellie Bay. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so follow along. I have some questions for you, okay?
Who is this?
This is Brother W. Clendenin Bay, the teacher.
Okay. Okay, brother man. I will get back to the meeting.
What year was the Moorish Science Temple America founded?
1913 AD.
Where?
Newark, New Jersey.
At what age did Jesus begin to teach?
At the age of 12.
Where did he teach?
India, Africa, and Europe.
When was the head of Satan taken off?
1453 Byzantine.
What title did Satan give himself?
God.
84. She's like 84. She's like, yo, you brother come in, you gotta ask me some questions. You kidding? 1939, she said, my nationality card says born. Don't say one day, it's born. Praise Allah. All right. All the Moors on Zoom, take it easy for a second. I'm gonna have the secretaries mute all of you for a second. All the Moors in the temple, Islam. All right, who made you?
Allah.
Who is Allah?
Allah is the Father of the universe.
Can we see him?
No.
Where's the nearest place we can meet him?
In the heart.
Who is Noble Drew Ali?
He is Allah's prophet.
What is a prophet?
A prophet is the thought of Allah manifested in the flesh.
Sister Autumn, Islam. Number 7, Sister Autumn. What is the duty of a prophet? Islam. Islam with the beautiful smile. Come on.
No book in the hand. She answered.
the question.
Islam. The team, right? The team, we stand up for the team. For the team. For the team.
For the team.
She's for the team.
Islam.
Islam. That's all right. I got time to work for Allah. I got time to wait for Sister Autumn. Looking beautiful. Praise Allah. I thought so happy you could accommodate us. Okay, who made you? Who is Allah? What is your nationality? Why are we Moorish American? What is our religion? What do the 5 points represent?
Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice.
Peace.
Yeah.
All right, to the rest of the class. Is that a new or is that an old time religion?
Old time religion.
What kind of flag is the Moor?
Red flag with 5 pointed green stars.
What do the 5 points represent?
Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice.
How old is our flag?
It's over 10,000.
Our holy day.
Friday.
Why? Oh, man, we done stumbled on each other's feet.
Did that one again? You ready?
Sure, Sister Sealdale, show us. Islam. Sister Sealdale, thank you for volunteering. Yes,
I volunteer.
I love for those
I
volunteers.
volunteer.
All right, she's gonna volunteer.
Islam wars?
Clearness and power. All right?
Oh, you're picking new questions?
Of course.
All right, we'll
Keep the
praise
same
Allah.
questions. Clearness and power. Which is our holy day?
Friday.
Why?
Friday is the day on which man was formed in flesh, and it was on a Friday when he departed out of flesh.
So now I hear the clearness, but I hear that Becky Sealdale.
Uh-huh.
I'm not hearing that. You see what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Okay, so hold on, you want me to put basement?
I'm like the fruit of Islam sisters type of thing. How they be coming across? How about them sisters that were with Gaddafi?
No,
You know what
want me
I'm
to
saying?
channel my- That's
You know what I'm
another
saying?
day energy. I got you.
Yeah,
Let's go.
okay, come on now.
We don't even know today.
Where you from? Brooklyn?
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. Cause there's people here from the Bronx,
From the morning.
and I'm from the Queens. So, okay? All right.
Yeah.
Who was Jesus?
He was the prophet of Allah
Where was he born?
in Bethlehem of Judah in the house of David. Good enough?
Who was his father and mother?
Joseph and Mary.
Praise Allah.
Praise Allah.
You know, it's funny, Moors, and I know the Moors on so. You know how many different turbans and fezzes that we wear in life? You know, here we are right now. We got our fezzes, our turbans on, our tie. I got a robe. And, you know, and we're talking about these divine things. You know, but were we doing divine things? You know, this morning when we woke up, or about last night? You know what has been in our thoughts. You see? So the thing is, you know what the young people saying, we know it's so true, is to be real. First of all, to be real with each other, but if you can't be real with yourself, imagine kind of world you living in. To be real with yourself. Now the prophet Jesus, or should I say the Hierophant, told Jesus that the highest heights are gained by those who reach the lowest depths. Right? So let's say you're 50 feet up. That's how high, 50 feet. But what if you've been 50 feet down? You need 50 feet just to get up back to the ground. And another 50 to get up to that spot. So who's reached higher heights? The man that never went 50 feet down and just went 50 feet up and said, look, I'm up here 50 feet up. Or the man or woman that was 50 feet down had to raise 100 feet up. Now you could say, well, it's their fault they fell 50 feet down. It's all our faults. That's what I love about the Moorish Science of America. You want to blame Brother Clendenin Bey, you want to blame Brother Kirkman Bey, you want to blame your mama, your environment, the school system. No one ever comes in here and says, you know, I'm the problem, Brother Clendenin Bey. Do you ever walk into a room and says, I'm Brother Clendenin Bey the problem? No. We put on our best face, smile, our best clothes, some cologne, whatever, and we act like we're good. And then nobody can tell you about yourself. And that's why we live in a world now and everybody's right. I love it. Everybody's right. Nobody could be wrong. I mean, everyone gets 100 on the test. Everybody goes and they get a participation trophy. You try. Nobody's got to be a winner. Nobody's got to be a loser. That's a great world, right? Right? You get up in Quran class. Everybody can say what they want to say. All their different understandings. It could be a misunderstanding. It could be they don't have understanding, but they say it. So if a person gets up here and talks about plumbing, I did plumbing for 25 years, and they talk about how they could do this and they could do that. I'm like, they don't know what they're talking about. But I'm supposed to not say anything. If you say something, then it's like, you like coming at me. Worry about your own weeds. I'm not worried about weeds. I'm worried about plumbing. You're wrong. Didn't Jesus say to that brother one time? He said, your thoughts are wrong. He said his heaven was a place of meets and bounds and where he's waiting to die to get to that place. And Jesus, yeah, brother, your thoughts are wrong. When you come into the temple, when you're telling people that you're black and a Negro and all this African American, what do we tell you? your thoughts are wrong. So when you say, well, I'm this and I'm that, I'm this, like, well, you know, that's not what the prophet said. Your thoughts is wrong according to the prophet. So we're trying to understand what the prophet said. But we have to be real with ourselves, because the prophet says to study yourself. Right? And I was talking to the brothers when we first came in here, and I was thinking, in order to get the benefit of the class, to get the benefit out of the Moorish Science Temple America, you got to know why you're here. What's going on while you're here? You know, think about it. Quran class after Quran class. Holy day after holy day. You're reading the information, hopefully. You're studying information. But why? Why? The prophet says here, if you have a Moorish literature, and this beautiful speech he gave, he said, read carefully the doctrines of the Moorish Science Temple of America. It contains our hopes, aims, rules, and articles of religion. Every member should have a copy. Read carefully the doctrines, the teachings of the Moorish Science Temple of America. It contains our hopes, our aims, our rules, our articles of religion. Every member should have a copy. So let's start off with the first hope and aim of a Moorish national sovereign, make the Europeans, this is my land type of, what is his hope and his game, right? He loves when the prophet says, the Europeans got to take water. They got to take water because they're 6,000 miles away from home. And maybe we'll keep 8% of them because they're good farmers, right? And when you read that oral statement, if you have a certain mentality, right? If you have a certain mentality, you're like, yeah, yeah. But when I'm sitting there, I'm like, they mean my mama? Because my mama's a European. What about all the Moorish Americans that their children might have some Europeans in their family or their spouses? When they hear that, like, yo, baby, you got to go. I could vouch for the children. They got my blood in them, but you and grandma, sorry, y'all got to take water. Y'all from Ireland. Y'all from Germany. Right? Is that what the prophet meant? Right? Think about these teachings. I was thinking about earlier when you take these teachings, right? I'm from New York, right? So when a New Yorker gets something, they got to screen it through that New York filter. You know what I'm saying, Sister Jones Bank? Like Brevoort houses, like Bainbridge Street, Bed-Stuy, like, yo, that's the filter I got. If you're in Hope, Indiana, honor to Temple 55, right? You know, and you like in a farm area, then when you pick it up, it's like, okay, prophet's teaching. If you in Chi-Town in Chicago, you see, if you in St. Louis, they say Lou, I don't know if I'm saying that right, from the Lou, you know what I'm saying? When you're like that, you're gonna take the prophet's teachings according to who you are. And then you're gonna manifest according to who you are. I can't make a brother sister from Hope, Indiana be like a brother sister from New York, just like they can't make me be like them. But we can all take wherever we are and start to ascend to become better brothers and sisters through the prophet's teachings. All right? So on the national side, I understand. I'm like, yeah, it's our land. The Europeans, I was just at the Asiatic American Museum. They talk about all the different treaties and all the treaties that were broken and the Trail of Tears and how they didn't give up. And I'm like, okay. And then you got all the Europeans living here and they're acting like, well, I didn't do it. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. I wasn't part of slavery. I've just been living here. I just grew up. I don't even know what white privilege is. I don't even know what you're talking about. I don't know any of that stuff. And you're like talking. But the main point, what I'm saying is that we all have an opportunity to take these teachings from wherever you are to head to wherever your hope and your aims and your dreams are. On a religious side, religion to bind back, to yoke, the yogi, to yoke back, to become one with Allah. So that's what we're trying to accomplish. Raise ourselves up to infinite wisdom. Change our thoughts. The sister read the chapter we're working on. The workshop of the mind, where things are made of thought, where you're building up character. That's on that side. But you don't necessarily have to do that on the other side. You could be a Moorish American bank robber. There's plenty of them in jail. You could be a Moorish American all these other negative things.
That's right.
Hatred, lewdness, murders, theft, and everything that harms. There's certain Moorish Americans that would have no problem in mugging us, taking our money and taking what we have, and like, yo, each man for himself. Becoming a Moorish American and knowing your nationality doesn't make you a good person.
Islam. Right.
We've all know and met plenty of Moorish Americans that have no principles, but they know their nationality. Figure it. And then you got plenty of Moorish Americans that are good and love Allah and don't want to harm a thing, but don't know nothing about citizenship, their rights, how to interact with the government, or even what the government is, and what we need to secure our people's future. And we got all mixed in together. But as a New Yorker knows, and a person from Chicago knows, and even a person on a farm knows how to survive. And thus we have these teachings that take us out of the cares of the world to the rock of salvation. Let's go over some of these laws real quick. Divine Constitution and Bylaws, Act 1. All right, we're gonna go to Brother Coleman here, Islam. Islam, Act 1, Divine Constitution and Bylaws.
Grand Sheik and the chairman of the Moorish Scientific Americas and
No,
Islam. First, I want to rise and give praise to Allah.
No, Sister Nellie Bay gave praise and honors for everyone. We don't need everyone to do that.
Okay.
I don't need you to repeat it as a parrot. I need you, like in 1 minute or less, just tell us what Act 1's about in your own words. What is Act 1 about?
It's about making law, you know. You got the prophet is actually getting us, it's about law, basically, you know. He said the Grand Sheik and the chairman of the Moorish Scientific Americas is empowered to make law and enforce law with the assistance of the prophet and the grand body of Moorish Scientific America. So he's actually trying to get everybody in one order.
Okay.
One order.
All right, praise Allah. Let's go to Sister Harper Bay.
Islam.
Tell me something about the Assistant Grand Sheik in Act 1.
The Assistant Grand Sheik is to assist the Grand Sheik in all affairs.
What kind of affairs we might be talking about?
Oh, okay. We talking about the affairs of the Moorish Science Temple of America, the affairs of the temple. We talking about the affairs of the members, the affairs of conducting a business. See, I look at it as a government inside a government. You got to take care of your members.
Okay, praise Allah. And it says, and it is known. See, the Grand Sheik got to live according to the principle and be known by the members, right?
Right. You can see me, right?
Right.
Praise Allah. Praise Allah. Thank you so much for that. Let's go to Act 2, Brother Smith Hill.
With Sister F. Hill. Yes.
Brother Smith Hill. All right, Act 2. Yeah, I'm off the top of your mind, Mo. Because he's Brother Smith here, right?
Islam, that's
Right? Okay. So when you have your all-stars, right, the people that want to rise up, right, they have to show more, right? The sheiks and sheikhs, I expect more. The ministers, I expect more. Your officials, you expect more, right? You ask the Grand Sheik, I can't be like, I don't know more. I think it might be in chapter, Brother Lord, will help me. Nah. But Smith Hill, I'm gonna help you out. Act 2, all meetings will be open and closed promptly according to
circumcision
and love.
Truth, peace, freedom, and justice.
Friday is our
Holy day.
Second chicken fish, you gotta give me more suggestions. Order. I order chicken.
So that was.
That cause.
All right. Who?
Sister Hill Bay, but you
Sister Hill Bay? No,
Yeah.
okay. Let's give her Sister Hill Bay, Islam, Sister Hill Bay.
Islam, Brother Clinton Bay. I'm sorry.
How you doing? How you doing today?
Not too bad.
I'm so glad you volunteered,
Oh, thank you. I'm just gonna sit here and
Yeah.
listen.
but you had
I
to,
won't stay.
yeah, Sister Harper Bay's
Yeah.
mom, right?
That's my.
Known as Mama Dukes in New York. You know what I mean?
Ma Dukes, that's
Ma
right.
Dukes. But Sister Hill Bay, Sister Hill Bay, tell me
Yes,
something.
Brother Clinton Bay. Brother
made you?
Clinton Bay.
Who made you?
Allah.
What's your nationality?
Islamism.
Hmm? The young people were like, huh? What's your nationality?
Didn't I say it right?
Nah, it's
North
Moorish
America.
American.
North America. And ask the young people not to laugh at a senior citizen.
Oh, they're not laughing. They just working with you. I'm smiling. That's okay.
Well, my vision isn't good at all. Just about gone.
All right. How about this? I love you.
I love you more.
All right. Thank you so much for being on with us today.
You so very welcome, Brother Clinton Bay.
All right. Well, I'm not gonna mess you up for chopping up my name. It's all right. All right, Moors. All right, let's go back to the Divine Constitution and Bylaws. We're gonna go to Brother Turner Bay. Islam. Act 5, this organization of the Moorish Science of America is not to cause any confusion, overthrow the laws and constitution of the said government, but to obey hereby. What does that mean when you hear that? Islam, right?
Islam. For a minute, I'm gonna be honest, for a minute I struggled with that, right? Because there was controversy between, I think, 4 and 5. That it used to say parcel or parcel, and then with that, it's like, we are part and partial of the government. So it's not really explaining twofold, right? Because we are part and partial of this Moorish government, right? Because we are a government inside of a government. So when you look at it as a government inside of a government, and we all got to obey the laws of the nation, which is the Constitution, state and local laws, then it helped me really, bring it in a fold. Like, now we can't be out of order. So what it means to me is we got to obey the laws of the government, which is the laws of the United States that apply to us, the state and local laws that apply to us, and also the laws of the Moorish Science Temple of America.
Praise Allah. Praise Allah. And the brother mentioned something's called an idiom, part and partial, right? Now, usually when you can look it up for us. Usually when you see it, it's part and parcel, PACEL. But when you think about what the meaning of it is, right? Because some Mars try to use the word parcel as in dealing with some kind of land or dealing with some kind of other concept. But then when the prophet says, in order for you to be a faithful member, you got to take care of all the necessities. You talk about being a part and a part. How would that apply to that? So I don't know, like the brother said, if you see some of the old constitutions, you'll see parcel in it. When you see people use the idiom, they use the word partial. All right. So now if you look it up, he's gonna look it up for us. But going back to what the brother was saying, okay. Part and parcel, all right, an essential. An essential or integral component. An essential or integral component. An essential or integral component. Hold that thought. Essential or integral component. All right. All right. So it says in here, all members, Act 4, must preserve these holy and divine laws. All members must obey the laws of the government, because by being a Moorish American, you are a part, and it says partial here, but part and parcel of the government. Part and parcel of the government. Part and parcel, an essential or integral component of the government. It had nothing to do with land. I mean, even you want to put the word parcel, put it in there. Because I'm at a point, we got a lot of times well, it says this, or okay, more. What is the prophet saying here? Like I used to make it simple, like a little third grader, fourth grader. You know, he said, we're not gonna make any laws in the convention. There's gonna be a variance with any county, state laws of the government. If you look at the history, they enabled Marcus Garvey as a Negro agitator. Right? The prophet says in the morning, right? We have to read. Why did the prophet have to issue this? I hereby inform all members, that they must end all radical, agitating speeches. When you're talking to someone and someone's speaking to you, and you get the feeling that it's radical and agitating, I get right to you, brother Turner. At work or in the home, the street, we are for peace and not strife. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans. It causes confusion. All right? Brother Turner had his hand up.
Just something short.
Yeah.
You know what I take is, even if it said parcel, right? That's a private thing. Why would you be talking about it publicly? So, you know, a lot of people get it confused, private and public. And I'm like, well, what is going on here? So it's confusing either way. But, you know, with that, I say peace.
Praise the Lord. And I got it. Before the meeting, I remember one of the Moors, I asked him where he lived. He said, you mean my domicile? I said, I was asking for your address. And we had this back and forth with terms. I'm like, okay, Moore. When I put this in the mail, what do I put on it so it gets to you? You know what I'm saying? You know, the only good person resides in their body, but yet their spirit. And I understand that. So we have a couple people online.
I'm just saying it from Brother El Serranovic.
Brother S. Serranovic?
El Serranovic.
Excuse me, Brother El Serranovic, Islam Assistant Chairman.
Islam with the Grand Sheik, can you hear me?
I can hear you more. Praise Allah.
Praise Allah. I believe you said the sister gave praise and honors on behalf of all of us. So I just wanted to recognize that first and foremost. If you read the Divine Constitution and Laws of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, which was the original Divine Constitution and Bylaws, it says part and partial. It doesn't say parcel. There was a brother who started a group called Moorish America who said that they were a government, and they rewrote the Divine Constitution and Bylaws to say Moorish America, that they are part and parcel of Moorish America. I believe I think it was Brother German Bay. I'm not sure the brother's name who started that. It was Pleasant Bay.
Pleasant Bay.
Yes, and that is actually the first time that phrase is actually introduced into the Moorish paradigm, was through Brother Pleasant Bay with his own Divine Constitution and Bylaws.
Well, actually, praise Allah. Actually, you can go back way further than that to the Grand Governor of Ohio, Brother Brian Bay, who I think he had to put out a book back maybe in the 80s. But he talked about this many years ago. Many Moors talked about it. And I understand it. Listen, the idiom that it's known for, that people use all the time, President Obama used to use it all the time, is part and parcel. That's the idiom. Now you could say part and parcel, and then someone's gonna look at you like, what do you mean? Still mean integral part, but why this word partial came into existence, I don't know. Well, I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole. Islam, so you. Oh yeah, Islam, Brother Smith here.
Islam?
Now,
praise and honor is already given. When I was looking over the Divine Constitution and Bylaws the other day, especially these first 4 and 5, it's talking a lot about the same thing. You know, we're talking about Act 1, talking about almost the executive, judicial, and legislative processes in Moorish Temple of America, like who we talk about in the government of the United States. So it's highlighting how we should conduct ourselves and highlighting how we should go about these meetings and how we should go about acting in society and acting in our communities. It's really more tied together than just how you should act in one government versus acting in another government. It's like we are learning how to act within one government, and it's all tied together. So that
praise Allah. Because we talked about laws, we talked about Act 1, we talked about our holy day and why it's a holy day. We talked about not causing confusion and being a part and parcel of this government. And we also talked about here, it says, love, Act 3, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all members of the Moorish Science Temple of America, no member is to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion at all that may harm his brother or sister, because Allah is love. I'm gonna get right to you, Sister Seal. This is a very important act. Now remember, we don't have to keep on reading laws and acts if we're acting. The prophet don't have to have us read this over and over again if we're acting like this. This is to remind us of things we're not doing. You see what I'm saying? Exactly, brother. Pounding it, make it a part of every part. So let's not forget Act 3. That's treating each other with respect. You know what I'm saying? Knowing the essence of each other is a creature that Allah created just as well as the all of life. And what we do for each other, we do for Allah. What we do against each other, we do it wrong to Allah. When we look in the face of each other, we're looking at the image of who the creator that created us. All right, Sister Seal deal? Islam.
Islam. Well, I just wanna, well, this is of course something that you taught at a point, Brother W, from the big grand sheet. The page 3, some of us call it a page 3 demonstration, right?
Page 3, all right.
Right, and the divine instruction from the Holy Prophet, there are no actual numbered instructions, but it goes, the first portion, last paragraph. These secret lessons, Allah bless you, these secret lessons are for all those who love Jesus and desire to know about his life, work, and teaching. And then it continues, and it tells you, dear readers, do not falsely use these lessons. They are for good, peace, and happiness for all those that love Jesus. And so to me, when I read this, I look at this and it even helps me to balance out some of the things that might be in the oral statements with a certain level of understanding. Because this, to be a good Moorish leader, he gave us the foundation of the things that we need to study. And so I know that he's raising up leaders and not followers. And then as you were reading, it brought me right to the ministry of John the Harbinger. And it continues. And of course, because he knows when he pulled up into the marketplace, eyes were on him, right? All eyes on me, as they would say. And so what did he have to do? The same thing that you have to do nowadays when you're in certain places. Even if you're going and trying to intervene in a police altercation, you have to make it clear that you're not here to obstruct public justice, and you have to keep a certain spatial distance in order to make sure that you are part and parcel of the interaction that's happening, right? And so I was just gonna say that part and parcel comment and part and partial, if you look at the words, they both have the same meaning. It's integral part. So you think of a body part. But it was used in legal terms since the 15th century, about 1800, so it was something that was just understood. But it was placing extra emphasis on that part, that you are still a part. So I don't really think that it tells you that you're fully separated. Because if your fingers are part of your hand, yes, they move in individual digits, but they're all connected to the one body. But when it just said, the divine instruction number 13, found on page number 22, it says, is it 13? No, 14, excuse me. Be not disturbed, you rulers of the state. The coming king is no antagonist. He seeks no place on earthly throne. And so even just that understanding, in the spiritual sense and the earthly sense, the messages are synonymous. Peace.
Peace. Praise Allah. Praise Allah. I want to read this statement from the prophet and tie in. So you can have a part of something, right? And then you have an integral part, right? You're riding a bicycle, right? The pedals are an integral part, right? The seat is not, right? The handlebars are an integral part, right? The back brakes and the front brakes, if I got one, the other one I can maybe do without. But there's certain things you can't do without.
Correct.
So let's just talk about the integral. What is the Moorish American? We're a part, we're citizens, right? But what's the integral part, right? And it's on?
There's a hand on mine, but also.
All right, we'll get right back to that hand on line in a second. So the Moors, we're in the Moorish literature. All right? And when prophet makes plea to nation, what nation are you making a plea to? The United States of America. All right? The prophet says, our divine and national movement stands for the specific grand principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Now, I'm sure that all Moorish Americans, even if you're a new member, You just been a member for a couple months. You must have heard this so many times, talk about the flag, they keep on saying Islam. You should know that that's what our movement stands for, these principles. All right? It says, and I, the prophet, am applying to all loyal, faithful Moors, members. Look how he breaks it down. To all loyal, faithful Moors, members, and the American citizens to help me in my great uplifting acts of uplifting fallen humanity among the Asiatic race and nation. So the prophet is calling on the members, faithful Moors, and American citizens. This is his plea to the nation. The prophet said, the European has helped me, why not you? The Negro problem's your problem. I got Europeans help me with your problem, and you don't even want to help with your own problem. It's a mental thing. All right? He goes on to say, for I have suffered much and severely in the past through misunderstanding of what the movement was dedicated to. I'm not talking about other people's movement. I'm not talking about things people did in the past. I'm talking about the prophet. The last prophet in these days has a movement. He's been guided by Allah. And he says he's been judged. He says he has suffered much severely in the past through misunderstanding of what the movement is dedicated to. It is the great God Allah alone that guides the destiny of this divine and national movement. So when you see it going left, when you see it going right, when the prophet stood in front of the Moors, thousands of Moors, and said the temples are going to dwindle down to a handful. And y'all looking around to each other, like 1,000 of y'all in the meeting. You know what I'm saying about turning back? Like, what you talking about? I'm good. I got my children. We're going to be 2 generations. What are you talking about a handful? Thousands of Moors. How do you think they got to a temple 80-something? Right? Temple 1, Temple 2, Temple 3, right? Where all those Moors at? Where'd they go? Dwindled down to a handful. 2 and 3 here, 2 and 3 there. Had thousands. The Temple of Chicago or Detroit, one of them had like 5,000 members. You barely find a temple. I don't even know the largest temple in the United States. I don't know, Fuqua Bay, Temple 71, Temple 11, I don't know, one of those. Maybe they got 30 members, 40 members. I don't know. They look in their books and pull some names out. Show me 60. You show me a temple, you look in every meeting and you see 50 to 100 people in the meeting. I haven't seen it. Now we can see everybody, everyone's on Zoom now. So we can peek in and see what's going on there. All right? But look at the prophet goes on. The great God Allah alone guides the destiny. I know all true American citizens. I know. See, everyone doesn't know this, but the prophet knew. That's why it applies to those that know. If you don't know, and I'm telling you something you don't know, you don't even understand what I'm talking about. But if you are listening to the prophet and you know an American citizen and you know the law and you know everything that's going on, and the prophet says that, he says, I know, and the other people are listening that know what he's talking about. I know all true American citizens. Notice the terminology, the adjective, true Americans are identified by national descent names. Why you need a national descent name? To answer and apply to the free national constitution of this free national republic of the United States of America. How many times do you even hear someone use the formal name of the organization? I mean, the United States of America, the US, the USA. And here the prophet is dropping the official name, the National Republic of the United States of America. That is why I'm calling on all true national citizens. I'm sure we touch on some of this in the civics class stuff going on, but he's talking about true American citizens. Now he's talking about national citizens to help me morally and financially in my great work I'm doing to help this national government. For without a free national name, Now, this is the part that I'm talking about, leading up to the integral part. Without a free national name, with a descent flag of your forefathers, talk about the Moors, there is not a national divine title to the government in which we live. So you can have a government, but if you want a government to have a national divine title, that means they have to accord certain things have to be in place. And that's what the flag is dealing with. Without a national divine title of government in which we live, this is from your true and divine prophet to all American and foreign sympathizers. All right? So praise Allah for that. We had who online?
You got a hand from Sister Ann Harper Bay, Brother West Side.
Brother Ann, I'll go with Sister Harper Bay, and then our Grand Chief of White Cyrus Hill, but Sister Ann Harper Bay, Grand Chiefess.
Islam. I always stand and give praises to Father God Allah and honors to Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I just got to say this, Brother W. Kundin Bay, you got to have your pen and paper ready for you in Sunday school, because the thoughts get to turning and you in a school of thought. So this is the highest learn of schooling right here. Now, what I jotted down is, first we was in Act 6, part and partial, very short. We are a nation within a nation. We are part of the United States of America. We were born here on this land. We are partial because we have our own nation within the Moorish Science Temple of America, within the United States of a nation, of the United States of we have dual. It's like dual citizenship. It's like when you belong to two countries at one time, but we have to respect the land that our feet land on first. That's the ultimate respect. And Prophet Noble Drew Ali always taught that you respect where you lay your feet at. You have to respect that government. So they make you a part and partial. Okay, number 3, Act 3. You said something about, no member is to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion at all that may harm his brother or sister, because Allah is love. You know, in the state of in the United States, you can be brought to court for falsely accusing anybody, and they can prove that you falsely accused them, then you can be brought in the court of law. And we supposed to help our brothers and sisters. You're not supposed to try to ruin nobody's reputation falsely, or put slanders, or just cause confusion. And my last one, the 10,000 members. Come on now. How Prophet Noble Drew Ali get 10,000 members in the day that in the 1920s, the 1930s, when it was very hard for our people? Willie Lynch was still going on. They were still, Jim Crow was still going on real deep. Prophet Noble Drew Ali didn't have all the technology that we got today. See, we got to come out of our cocoons. We got to come out the comforts of our temples, and we got to get out there to the public. The 10,000 members just didn't run through the temple doors. Prophet Noble Drew Ali and all those Moors, they got out and they walked the pavement. They got out outside the temple and invited them in the temple. They went to where the public was at. They went to where the age-added brothers and sisters was at. 10,000 is a large number right to this day. So back then, 10,000 members was not easy to come by. You got to get out there and do the work. Thank you. Peace.
Praise God. Thank you so much, sister. And who was the other person? Brother White Cyrus. Brother Grand Chief, Brother White Cyrus here. Islam.
Islam, Brother Kundin Bay, Grand Sheik. I want to first rise and, Sister Nunley Bay already gave praise and honors, so I won't do that again. But But and I apologize, Moses. I didn't actually make it into the temple today. I had a little bit of extra work, so I'm still here at the house. But I'm listening to the meeting. Brother Grand Sheik, I actually got stuck on something from earlier in the meeting, and I just wanted to kind of voice this. And I think it's similar to the topic regarding what is the right concept legally, whether it be part and partial or part and parcel. You know what I mean? And I tend to agree with the clarification that's being made. But similarly, like I said, I got stuck on something you said earlier, and you had mentioned a couple of times before about the European, and you used the Moors you're at home. The European is 3,000 miles away, right? But I feel like we should definitely clarify that a little bit. I know that the prophet said, that he didn't want us to have any foreign Muslims, right, to come behind the rostrum. And that was for a specific reason. These are Muslims. These are Asiatic Muslims. And he was saying, be careful. And at the same time, he said, prophet said somewhere that he said, I could, because the Moors were hard-headed and stiff-necked, he said, I could give you a European Grand Sheik. And he didn't do that, but he's saying I could give you one. And I just think this part about, everyone has different situations. And we at Temple 34, we are sympathetic to what you're describing. You have a personal situation, but I think it's important that we have to be clear on what the prophet's instructions were. When the prophet says in chapter 48, I think he says in chapter 48, he doesn't wish us to amalgamate with the Palestinian nations of Europe. We're living in a time right now where, we are being bombarded. The Moors, we have a certain heritage and a lineage, and, whether or not the European is or the United States, the government, the administrators of the government are doing the right thing or the wrong thing, we actually happen to live in a time right now where our story could get washed away, our culture, based on the fact that, if we all begin to amalgamate, and there's a social engineering program that's going on right now. I actually started to make a list of all of the commercials all of a sudden in the last 3 years. I actually write them down now when I see them. Lowe's, Sleep Number, Carfax, Clarendon, Pandora, PetSmart, car companies, and they are engineering the amalgamation of the unconscious Asiatics that are in the United States. I just feel like we need to be clear. Having a personal situation is one thing, because the prophet was definitely not a racist, and all of us are in different situations. So, Brother Clinton, you have the spirit of an Asiatic. I feel like you're the way that you champion the prophet and the Moors, you have the spirit of an Asiatic. But we need to be clear for the young generation as well. What is the prophet actually saying? Because this has come up in a couple of different times over the last few months, and I just feel like we should be clear. We need to be careful to be clear that the prophet is saying that until we are whole, until we took our place in the affairs of the nation, and we a healthy nation again, we got to be clear that we are not to amalgamate with the Palestinian nations of Europe. So my mind got stuck on that earlier in the meeting. I just wanted to speak to that and get the Moors' take on what did the prophet mean when he said, "Don't let foreign Muslims behind the rostrum." And how does that relate to this particular subject as well, this point as well? And thank you for allowing me to express that, Brother Grand Sheik. Peace.
Thank you, Brother Cyrus Ear. Praise Allah. Oh my
Praise
gosh.
Allah.
Praise Allah, Brother Cyrus Ear. I noticed the same thing you said. That on the
No. It's more. I thought the Grand Sheik asked me a question. So anyway, praise Allah. So we can go to chapter 48, Grand Sheik mentioned. The end of time and the fulfilling of the prophecies. And we could start actually in the end of chapter 47. Page 59 is the divine instructions from the Holy Prophet. Number 17 says, that is why the nationality of the Moors was taken away from them in 1774, and the word Negro, black, color was given to the Asiatics of America, who are Moorish descent, because they honor not the principles of their mother and father and strayed after the gods of Europe, of whom they knew nothing. And the prophet goes on to say, instruction on chapter 48, and the time and the fulfilling of the prophecies, instruction 6. We as a clean and pure nation, descended from the inhabitants of Africa, do not desire to amalgamate or marry into the family of the pale-skinned nations of Europe, neither serve the gods of their religion, because our forefathers are the true and divine founders of the first religious creed for the redemption and salvation of mankind on earth. Therefore, we are returning the church and Christianity back to the European nations as prepared by their forefathers for their earthly salvation. While we, the Moorish Americans, are returning to Islam, which was founded by our forefathers for our earthly and divine salvation. So different things can be true at the same time. Like the prophet said, the European is helping me, why not you? At the same time, when I asked some of the older Moors about this particular instruction about the marrying amalgamation, if you go back to the 1920s and the brothers and sisters coming out of slavery, there was this culture where the brothers felt that having a European wife, a European woman, was some kind of a status symbol. You see what I'm saying? And so they was desiring, that's why the prophet said, we don't desire. Now, intermarriage among different nationalities has been going on in this world for years. For years. But this thought of that I have to go out there and have a European to make me complete, that I have to go move in a European neighborhood and have a certain kind of house and go to their schools, that makes me more of an American or better. That was the thought that they was trying to express back then. That's what the prophet's talking about. Now, the other part where the prophet talked about the Europeans taking water, that ties into what we were just talking about with the flag. He says, the Moors are home. The Europeans are not home. This is not their home. So as much as like I went to that museum and they talk about the different treaties and they talk about the different things, there has to be a come to Jesus moment for them, right? Like what I just talked about, there's no national and divine title of this government, and everything's not going to be right in this land until you recognize who is living here and who was here before you got here and took over and treated them, and the Trail of Tears and the broken treaties. You have to recognize that, and the prophet even goes further to saying they have to pay them for what their forefathers did in slavery and compounded interest. So there's no misunderstanding. And I don't know, just two more things, and I'll get right to more. I don't know about no Asiatic spirit and no European spirit. I don't know where that even came from. Everybody's a spirit of Allah. And you really think, when you think you're gonna go up into the soul plane and you're gonna be nationalities, you gotta proclaim who you are. This is a physical thing that man has created, the foundation of mankind. You know what I'm saying? All I know is there's spirits that are following the teachings and following the guidance of Allah, and there's spirits that are not. And that's whether you are Asiatic, European, or whatever you might call yourself. All right? So praise Allah for that. I think Sister Seal's ill and Brother Turner.
Islam.
Islam. We have someone online?
Islam, this is Sister Maxim Cookback, Sister A. Cookback. I just wanted to know, what is the question?
I'll get right back to you. The brother was asking about the Europeans marrying, amalgamating. And I mentioned something earlier about the Europeans got to take water, and the prophet said 8% of them is good farmers, will keep them. That was the conversation. Then he started talking about Muslims speaking behind the rostrum. So there's about 3 or 4 different thoughts that the brother mentioned. But we'll get right back to you. We got Sister Sealsdale on the temple and then Brother Turner. Sister Sealsdale?
Islam.
Islam.
So I was gonna say, it's really important, like when we look at the definitions and the wording, and also the time frame which they were used. So to amalgamate is the mixing of multiple ethnicities to bring about a new culture. So you're mixing these already different cultures and coming together. So it's a very big difference in someone marrying into the Moorish American family and separating themselves from the family, coming into your home, your family. And when those things were happening, if we noted that in that time, they were cut off from their family. The Europeans were cut all the way off, and you better hope that they didn't come and bust through your window with bricks, fire, and all kinds of other things because you've taken that particular step. So I think that it's a difference when we understand what the purpose of amalgamation was. It's bringing together the two to form a new, based on some of the things that each of you already have. Not completely going through to just the one more side, if you will. I also thought it was important, every time because I remember we had this discussion before, and I thought about the concept of your mom and just during the war and fighting during that time, and your dad being from the island, and her choosing to be on the Asiatic side of life all the way through. And so I think that when there's also an old statement that speaks, if you think you know a person's nationality by looking at them, you're burnt up from the start. But it's all right if you're burnt up, because the prophet said he'll be your water. Now, the concept of the understanding with, I was serious though, but just even that part of the connection when we understand straying after the gods of Europe of whom you know nothing. But all these lessons are for the uniting of Asia. So what are we doing when we get to Asia? What happens in those particular communities? So because a person is born somewhere, but they maybe their descendants or their lineage, they may still be listed differently as far as on a passport. We talk about the connivances of the law, what is documented here. There was a period in time where certain things didn't exist based on phenotype. It existed based on the region in which you belong to and your cultural understanding. So I think that when we look at this, I think that it's a lot deeper than what it is. And a lot of our minds and hearts, because of the struggles that we've gone through on this particular plane that things may manifest. I think as long as we stick to that particular divine part what the prophet brought, as well as the legal standing, because certain things that we say now can still be misconstrued if it's meant to cause harm. You could be brought in for discrimination and defamation of character. So even that, so we still have to be mindful how we communicate these thoughts and wise words are uttered in due season. But I thought a great question. Peace.
Praise Allah, praise Allah. And when we answer these questions, we're always thinking about how love. Remember, the prophet is a prophet for all people.
That's right.
Asiatics and Europeans. All right, so we're talking about those that are standing and doing the right thing by Allah, and those that are not doing the right thing by Allah, not following the instructions.
That's right.
It doesn't matter, European, Asiatic, if you're not following what Allah wants, you're not following what Allah wants. All right, so now we have Brother Turner Bay, Islam.
Islam. That's another heavy topic, right?
Mm-hmm.
You said love. That was wonderful, because if you look at the history, as the Sister Grand Sheik said, that history is in a lot of our families and a lot of our upbringing, right? So you got to look at it like this. He went to the Pan American Conference, right? It's a 50-year mandate. But to do what? Right? So like you said before, what are we here for? Right? We got, he said, leave you here, I'm gonna leave these Europeans here long enough for you to learn how to run a government, right? So that's what we're here for. We to learn the things to make us better citizens, because if we're better citizens, that means we can start to take the places and the positions in government. Because there's a need for a better character. Come see that. But though his words were true, past Grand Sheik, you know, it's like when you look at the essence of, because I used to have a mind frame, right, that we never should have integrated when they was talking about segregation and integration, because not to say that it was racist, to say that how could you integrate when you don't even know who you are? How could you do these things before you even have a chance to thrive at something and practice unity? You can't. You just leave for the same mistakes to happen over and over and over. Not to say that, you know, I'm a racist in any shape, form, or fashion. I got race pride, right? But like I said, it's a heavy line, that topic, right? And to go along with what the sister said, 100%, you know, because it is the Moorish nation, right? So the prophet gives these separations, right? He said, when the head was taken off the scene, 1453, Byzantine, by who? By Muhammad. It's the wars that been going on. World War I, what happened? We fell. Our whole Moorish nation fell. Then you got World War II. But when you go into the histories of these wars and who was involved and the sheiks and And all the nations that was involved and the heads that backed it and the bankers that backed this is really, really like, we need time to sit back and be us before we can go out. Because we, like I said, it's the same thing that happened over and over again because we don't know who we are. That is a piece.
Hey, Sister Jones, baby, you had your hand up? It's on.
It's on. I was just observing and listening.
Mm-hmm.
I just think I should go into the Holy Land, North Side, for page 10. And with the conversation, I kind of get where we're going, but we are holy and divine.
Mm-hmm.
These tools remind me of the ones we handled in the workshop, chapter 5, we're going to go to instruction 13. These tools remind me of the ones we handled in the workshop of the mind, where things are made of thought and where we build the character. We use the square to measure all our lines, to straighten out the crooked places of the way, make the quarters of our conduct square. Quality and content and character, nationality.
It's long.
We use the axe to cut away the non-useless and ungainly parts, to make the, useless and ungainly parts to make the character symmetrical. Our problems are loyalty, moral, and social.
It's long.
We use the hammer to drive home the truth, and pound it into the part of every part. You have to take these lessons and apply it to yourself.
It's long.
We use the plane to smooth the rough, uneven surface of joint and block and board that go to build up the temple for the truth. Truth is the only thing that changes not.
It's long.
The chisel, line, the plummet, and the saw all have their use in the workshop of the mind. You have to work these things out yourself. Can't nobody hear what your thoughts are. Thoughts, Allah is the only one that can really thought. For me, it's like me. And then this ladder with this trinity of steps, faith, hope, and love. On it we climb up to the dome of purity and light. And on the 12-step ladder, we ascend until we reach the pinnacle of that which light is fit to build the temple of the perfect man. So again, I was listening to the entire meeting. We were talking about the acts. We were talking about prophets plea to the nation. And then the chapter for today is chapter 5. So, everybody again have their own opinion, own thoughts, or whatever. But at the end of the day, the key word is love. That's Allah, it's everything. So once we focus on love, everything else falls in place. We can talk about who's what and who's doing what, but if we talk about that, what are we actually getting done? Are we living to giving our life to the sacrificial service to the whole of life to Allah?
Praise Allah. Very well put, sister. Thank you so much for that. And when you were saying that, it made me think about the topic that we're talking about, the amalgamation and the desire to marry into these families as one of the crooked places of the way. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Because it's not that you just happen to meet someone and you fell in love. You have this desire. And that's what the brothers and sisters were confronted with. You're sitting in these communities.
That's right.
And you're a brother in Chicago or Cleveland, whatever. You got all these beautiful sisters in your neighborhood and everything. And there's something in you. Oh, I desire to have a European woman.
It's long.
I desire to be with them.
It's long.
Right? And like the brother said, I think it's kind of coming true. Most historians, when they're looking at it now, this whole integration for our communities has really not worked out at all. If anything, we would have been better off in our own neighborhoods with our own lawyers and doctors and our own schools. And we could have dealt with the issues we had from that perspective. By us, all of the cream of the crop, all of our engineers, our lawyers, our entrepreneurs and everything had this thing to get up out of the neighborhood. And then look what happened. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a desire. And the last thing about, when the prophet says to not let any of the foreign Muslims behind your roster. He had a beautiful brother came in, right? Literally gave the shirt off his back. Right? But the more they didn't know, we had a brother come from Morocco. He took the fez off his head. He took the shirt off his back and gave it to the Moors and gave Brother Ferguson here something to win. And we would just give him whatever we had. We gave him the Holy Quran questionnaire. We gave him the Moorish newspaper. We gave him whatever we could give him to be reciprocal. But what if this brother was over here? What if your good brother down at the mosque was here? All of our, just like the members of the Nation of Islam, Wahid left his father and started moving because they wasn't treating true Islam. He had to start American Muslim Mission so they could teach this. This is what you want, Moors?
Teach.
You want to teach? Pray 5 times a day, Mo. Start planning your trip to Mecca, right, for your Hajj. Right? Do what the 5 pillars of Islam that Muhammad said. That's what you're supposed to do, right? You think when they get behind this roster, they're going to tell you about Egypt? They're going to tell you about being an Arab? They're going to tell you about nationality? Come on now. I went through all of this when I first came in the temple. Maybe you're just going through it. Maybe it's the first time for you. Not the first time for me. I got a charter behind me.
That's right.
I work for Ford, not for Chevy. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
All right? Don't get it twisted.
That's right.
About the Moorish Science of America. Like I said on Thursday, I invite those billion Muslims all over the world to come and find out about the last prophet in his days. And yes, we have a picture.
Islam.
And we have drawings of them.
Islam.
That's right. And you know how many times you're supposed to pray? Every time I feel the spirit moving in my heart, I will pray.
Islam.
I'm not going to pray because you tell me when to pray. That ain't right. That's fake. You pray because it's a certain time. I got to pray now. Why don't you pray because you feel it in your heart? Not because someone's telling you what to do.
That's right.
We are agreed. Higher than the Sufis. We're going back to the beginning. That's why no foreign Muslims can teach behind him. Because they're going to come a certain way. It's no disrespect. No disrespect. I love all of it. And that's what the beauty of the prophet. The beauty of the prophet, and I'm going to read this last part. And this is the beautiful part about the prophet's movement. And it's a beautiful part if you decide that you don't want to be an American citizen anymore. You want to go out into the world and be somewhere else. You might not have the same thought. This is on page 20, the Moorish literature. The door of religious freedom made by the American Constitution swings open to all, and people may enter through it and worship as they desire. Isn't that beautiful, Moors? So when a brother or sister comes to me and say, let me teach you true Islam. You're saying my Islam is false. You just disrespected me.
That's right.
Right? You're saying what you're doing is the way and what I'm doing is not the way. That's what you're implying. You didn't say, well, praise Allah for the last prophet in these days. You didn't say praise Allah for additional information. You automatically assume, because I believe that Jesus resurrected, that I'm not doing right. That I believe in reincarnation, that I don't understand right. That I believe a prophet came after Muhammad, oh, that, bro, you way off now. That I believe that the zodiac and numerology affect our decisions and what we do in this world, unless you can raise up with the resolution to be above the legions. Come on now. Like I told you, I'm from New York. You know what I'm saying? I'm from New York, and I'm going to look at it. And Allah gave me to put a head on my shoulders and a portion of understanding. And that's one of the main reasons I'm in the Moorish Science Temple America. Because of people telling me I had to do it their way. And here comes a prophet and telling you to open up your own mind. You do as your soul dictates, not the other brother, sister. You make your own personal connection and you step up and be one with Allah. You go into the land of fleshless things and then you know for your own self. That's what I'm talking about. In the Moorish Science Temple America, with the last prophet in these days, who is Muhammad. Yes, Muhammad founded the Moorish Science Temple America. Muhammad
resurrected on the cross. Muhammad was the first man. Muhammad sits at the right-hand throne of Allah. Muhammad is part of the Trinity that breathed forth the 7 spirits of Elohim. Muhammad. If that's what you want to hear, praise Allah. The people want to love Jesus, they love Jesus. People love Muhammad, love Buddha, love everyone. Like the young people say, it's all good, Moors. This is gonna make you a better father. If your wife can testimonial that you are a better man after Ramadan, then praise Allah. If you're the same old brother, same old sister after the 30 days is over, you had a hungry belly for about 30 days. And you told everybody that you were fasting, made you feel good.
Islam, that's a fact. Praise Allah.
But it's about love. You know, praise Allah.
Praise Allah.
Praise Allah.
Praise Allah.
You still got 3 hands up. You want to go for that? Oh, wait, the secretary time.
Yeah, we had a time.
Praise
I
Allah.
apologize for going 4 minutes over.
That was beautiful. Praise Allah.
Listen, you know, I had a discussion with Sister Grand Sheik and Sister Seals here. You know, there's so much peer pressure. There's so much pressure to do what everyone else is doing. It is. You know, just fall in line, Mo. But you gotta be you.
That's right.
Can I tell Brother Turnabay, don't be Brother Turnabay? Can't tell Brother Ferguson here, I can't tell Sister Jones, babe. You shouldn't be thinking about me like that.
That's right.
Because I don't want to think about you like that.
That's right.
I see Autumn over there busting a move. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's her expressing herself at this moment in time. You see what I'm saying? Again, I give honor to all the Moors and all their portions. I pray to Allah is pleased with us all as we continue to march towards a noble life together. We turn the meeting over to our chairman, Mr. C. Ferguson here.
Islam.
ISLAM. Islam, Muslims, Islam. Just saying the word means peace to me. Islam, Muslims, Islam. Now I for independence. That's for our salvation. And we love for everyone. All the nation. A for Allah the Father of the universe. And for Moorish American and Muslims, which are us. ISLAM. Islam, Muslims, Islam. Just saying the word means peace to me. Islam, Muslims, Islam.
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 First I rise and give praise to Allah, Father of the universe. Give unto this most illustrious and illustrious prophet, Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I'd like to give unto everything that honor is given to. I'd like to give unto each and every one of these. Because we throw honor is both mean and unjust. I want to be mean and unjust.
That's right.
Not them energies.
That's right.
Praise Allah. I'd like to thank the Grand Sheik for conducting the class. I'd like to thank the members for their participating in this class. And this is what the temple is, to build. To build ourselves up. And like the sister gave you the key, the tools that we got to work with.
That's right.
See, that's the key. The keys, we got to work with them tools. If you don't use the tools, you don't have to work. So you got to work on yourself first, not nobody else. Praise Allah. Let me read you one. Divine warning by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Prophet wants our Muslim governors for the reproclamation at each meeting. I hereby inform all members that they must impart radical agitating speeches while at work, in their homes, or on the streets. We are for peace and not disturbance. Stop flashing your cause of Europeans that causes confusion. Remember your call is for your salvation. Fair to obey these orders will be a severe consequence. We have a love, true peace, freedom, and justice, and when these principles are violated, justice must then take its course. Any member or group of members who hold malicious feelings towards the temple or the prophet or violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the law as laid out to them by the prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, they should turn their card and button, cease wearing their turbans and fans, and return to the state where I, the prophet, found you. This is a holy and divine movement founded by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And if the prophet is not right, the temple is not right. The prophet therefore is sending out the divine plea to all Moorish Americans that they do their part in protecting their prophet and the temple. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sinful ways by order of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Peace. Let me get the secretary, get the announcement, then we can continue the conversation. Do the secretary, huh? All right, order.
Islam chairman.
Islam, sister.
Okay, I'm going to share the images. You can let me know if you see them on the screen in a second. Just let me scroll back up. I did save or send them all in the chat for those that need to see it. Praise Allah. Just a reminder to the Moors, well, praise and honor is already given. Just a reminder to the Moors that our Cash App is $MSCA34. That's $MSCA34. If you'd like to make your donations, you can do so by Cash App if you're unable to be in the temple in person to make a donation. Please be sure to put in the notes section what your donation specifically is for. We appreciate that. A reminder that that Friday is the holy day for all Muslims all over the world. And then our meetings are at 7:30 to 10 p.m. On Sundays, we have our Sunday school from 2 to 4, and you can come ask questions, especially during secretary time. So I'm gonna move a little quicker. Just showing a new graphic for Sunday school. And it's just a reminder that all ages are welcome. So please, Moors, if you have children, make sure they attend Sunday school. Thursdays, we have our national conference call. It's facilitated by our Grand Sheikh, Brother W. Clendenin Bey. If you have any questions, you can come and get the answers, or at least find the guidance of where you can find an answer. That is by conference call. Again, this information is in your chat if you wish to save it there. In the morning, if you are able to, 6 a.m. our time, Eastern Standard Time, you can join the Moors all across the nation by joining the Zoom to recite the Moorish American prayer, to read from the Quran, and just to greet the Moors. It's very quick, so we encourage the Moors to sign in, if not earlier, but on time. It doesn't last very long, so it doesn't take up much time. We want to remind the Moors that we need a pattern for our lives. That starts 6 a.m. and then there's prayer at 9 p.m. If you can start your day with prayer and end your day with prayer, then I would say that you're doing pretty well. So it's always little steps. So here, there's a prayer and Quran reading, and the Zoom information, again, is also in the chat if you need it. A reminder to all of those who are interested in becoming sheikhs that we have been conducting trainings every third Tuesday of each month at 8 p.m. on Zoom. It is the same Zoom link that you used to enter this meeting today. And all of the sheikhs, the current sheikhs, usually participate, and we're there to help provide any answers and to prepare you as best. If you're an active member and you'd like to, or you have interest in becoming a sheikh, please talk to your Grand Sheikh about it. Our upcoming one is April 16th, 2024. Praise Allah, Moors. We have the Moorish National Sisters Auxiliary that's coming up. It's Friday, April 19th to Saturday, April 20th. Just a reminder that they have hotel room reservations. You should make them if you have not. You need to do so immediately or reach out to myself, Sister J. Jordan, Chairman of the Sisters Auxiliary, to talk about it. If you wanted to attend, I'm going to show you that this is the information that came out for that. Again, it's being held at the hotel. Everything's at the hotel, St. Charles, Missouri. They have their Holy Day service on Friday, workshops that are happening during the day on Saturday, and those that cost $15, which includes lunch. And then later on during the day and Saturday is the dinner and semi-formal dance. It is Dressed to Impress, and that is $75. That will run from 7:30 p.m. to 11 p.m. And you can expect good music, food, and other activities. So if you're interested in attending the Sisters Auxiliary National Gala, please let me know because we need to purchase our tickets in advance and arrangements need to be made. Sister E. Jones Bay had an announcement. So here's her flyer. I'm going to just read what she says. Sister E. Jones Bay and the youth members of Lyrics Playhouse Morris Sudbury Institute would like to announce that on April 15th, 2024, from 4:30 to 6 p.m., there is a youth policy event. We are extending the invitation to everyone to come and support the youth members of Lyrics Playhouse Morris Sudbury Institute Youth Leadership Council. Please see the attached link and photo invitation on the Google form. When asked what organization, please put Lyrics Playhouse Morris Sudbury Institute Youth Leadership Council, and position is supporter. I've included the link in the chat separately, so you can just click on the link if you're available to attend this on April 15th. And praise the Lord for such a beautiful flyer. Additionally, they will be having, there's a Peace and Justice Youth Conference Saturday, May 4th, and that's from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. at BHS School. There'll be dance, music performances, etc. If you're interested in attending that or participating, I guess you can let Sister E. Jones Bay know, or any one of us, and we'll try to point you in the direction of any information you need. She mentioned that on May 5th, 2024, at Borum Hill High School, which is BHS for Internal Studies, from 10 a.m. to 5, you can join them for the 2024 Peace and Justice Youth Conference. In the portion when they ask for the school you attend, you should clarify that you're a supporter, okay, of Lyrics Playhouse Morris Sudbury Institute. Again, I put the link in there. So it's in the chat. You can click the link and fill out the Google Forms if you're interested in attending any of those events. Today is the first Sunday of the month. That is, this is Auxiliary Sunday. And today we're going to have our meeting. I am the chair of the Sisters Auxiliary, Sister J.J. O'Neill. And just letting you know that the Sisters Auxiliary will be meeting today at 7 p.m. If you are a sister in the movement and you are a member, all sisters that are members of the Moorish Zion Temple of America are automatically members of the Sisters Auxiliary. So please join us tonight at 7 p.m., same Zoom, so we can discuss and talk, plan, and also discuss the upcoming gala and other events that we're planning. With that, that's all that I have. If anyone else has announcements that they would like for us to announce, please send your announcements to the MSTA Secretary 34. That's MSTA Secretary 34 at gmail.com. And I will gladly share these announcements during Secretary time as well on Facebook and through our chat so the members can see and have access to that. With that, I say peace. Thank you, Chairman, for calling on me.
It's all. Yeah, got you. Who's what's it?
Young Bay was first, I remember.
Brother Young Bay? Yep. It's on, Brother Young Bay.
It's long. I actually had my hand up for Sunday school. Praise Allah. I had my hand up for the Sunday school.
You gonna share your comment, dear brother?
You want to share your
comments?
comments?
I can still share my comments for Sunday school.
Yeah, doing secretary time. Yes.
Yes, I want to just say that, you know, the prophet came for us age addicts. And that we are not, the prophet made it clear, we are not to marry or amalgamate into the European nation. You know, we need to look up what that word marry and amalgamate means. See, that's that and right there. It's a law word meaning one and the same. The prophet ain't necessarily talking about, you know, jumping the broom with a European. He's not necessarily talking about that. He's talking about as far as mixing, and you know, like the brother said, with foreign entities or even Europeans speaking across that podium. The prophet ain't have none of that, you know, because we have a holy and divine, meaning one and the same again, holy and divine. You see, movement. We ain't with no earthly movements, so to speak. We gotta stay in conjunction with what the prophet's saying, because when we get to venturing off in these other things, and the prophet said this in the laws and that in the laws, we going against what the prophet's saying. You doubting what the prophet saying. So we cannot do that. We cannot mix. It's a reason too why the prophet say don't mix into them nations, you know, and not to do the things that, you know, the Arabs, so to speak, and things like that are doing, because they're teaching something different. Then we going off course from what the prophet had brought to us that's divine, that's pure, that is truth. No falsehood strangely mixed. This here is holy, it's sacred. So we ain't supposed to amalgamate, mix, and allow certain things in our organization. It ain't discrimination. That's our free constitution and free religious right to separate from any other entities or nationality. So the prophet came for us, and he made that very clear. And his reasons why he said that. You know, it's a reason why he say, you know, woe upon the man that calls himself a Jew. You see, it's a reason why we ain't supposed to do certain things. And the Moors need to find out what them things is. You see, because like the brother Clinton and Bay mentioned, like the five pillars of Islam, excuse me, when it's actually 7. And I teach that that's what Islamism is, the cardinal doctrine, the most important. And he mentioned too the reincarnation and the resurrection. You see, we supposed to believe in them things, and that's in the Quran too of Mecca. You see, so certain things we're not supposed to do, and more need to hold fast and stand strong. That's why.
That's not about to use it out on us.
Might have dropped out.
Who else was on there?
Islam. Islam there. I'm here. It's things in this times that we had experienced in our lifetime, you know, where that goes against the prophet in our movement. You see? So we gotta, the prophet said he needs strong men and women. You ain't talking about how much weight you can lift and how good you can exercise. And when he say to lead the European here long enough to teach us how to run a government, so we can understand what is government, so we can understand how government functions, so we can carry ourselves accordingly and do them things. The prophet said that we're gonna come a time when them flags switch and we take over. But if we don't know how to run no government, we're gonna that. And lastly,
I got 2 more hands up. Just making sure. I got 2 more hands up.
Islam. Islam. I just wanted to say also like what Sarah Zell had. You know, that's true. All right. I peace. I hold that.
Hey.
Thank you.
Sister Ann Alphabet.
Okay. Islam. I want to say I enjoy Sunday school. I really enjoy Sunday school. I need the Sister J. Jordan Hill cell phone number because I couldn't catch everything real fast, and I would like to have her as a contact person in my contact list. I just also wanted to say that we are missing a lot of history because of our minutes and our attendance and our records. You know, our records is our history. And if we can collect our history from the 1920s to 2024, that would tell a lot of history of what the Moors went through and who they are. They got registers, they got attendance. We should be reaching back in our history to try to reach back to some of those Moors that was actually with the prophet. The last thing I wanted to say is that we have a lot of Moorish artifactures and a lot of Moorish history, and we need a Moorish museum. We need a Moorish museum where all our history is together to where we can display it, and generations behind us will actually see and actually know, and the material be in one particular place where we can develop and be very proud to leave the legacy for when we change forms, because we're going to change forms, and then it'll be everlasting moving on. Thank you. Peace.
Peace. What's the name of it? It's on, Sister Cecile.
It's Mr. Chairman, let me lower my hand on this one. It's I was just gonna say, first of all, I love the unstudied school. I love to hear everyone's thought. I love to hear passion behind what's communicated, especially when it's done in a way that is kept within the bounds of righteousness. Because then it kind of shows the flex, and as this was reading from, as she beautifully opened up the meeting and read for us from chapter 5, it shows that those tools are being utilized. A lot of these things are gonna be done in a conflict, a problem that cannot be told in words. Now, this is not the same as, no language can describe a mother's word. This is in a conflict that can't be told in words, cannot. And so there's a very big difference in that in and of itself. But when I was hearing it, I was thinking about a lot of the things. We were told to return the church and Christianity back. So we have a lot of traits that already amalgamate traits. So a lot of the times we speak in a certain manner, and I don't think we recognize what the prophet was already teaching us. He was letting us know that we are very much took on those particular ways of thinking, understanding, teaching, and practicing, even into our local communities. We go get Remy number 5, good hair, wet and wavy. We're going out here, we're getting our eyebrows thinned out to a certain degree. We're following, maybe even using bleaching soaps. They're using that in Africa right now to lighten themselves. They're one of the #1 distributors of skin bleaching soaps. One of my former favorite reggae salsa artists went and changed his entire complexion, Mr. Vybz Kartel, to where he is not able to be physically recognized. I think that a lot of the times we got to dig a lot deeper because we hit the surface a lot on these particular lessons, and a lot of them are telling you to internalize, like the sister had expressed, look within. Look within yourself and see what you could be doing to make yourself 100%. And if everybody was doing that, everyone will be bringing 100% to the table. But the more we take the time to look outside of ourselves, and not to look for that image of Allah that speaks within, but to look outside of ourselves for the problems, we tear ourselves further away from that Allah that speaks within the other individuals. And so I just value the lessons that's taught here within the Moorish Science Temple of America. I always appreciate my brother chairman. You come with a certain energy, always got a smile on, you always keep the prophet's words out front, and as well as, our grand sheet. So honor to all the Moors, honor to all the members, honor to all of those seekers after truth. Peace.
Islam, Moorish Americans.
Islam, Brother Slayma Bay.
Islam, Muslims. Yes, indeed. I just want to give honors to my Moorish American Muslims, and there's definitely a thought on how we were building. However, when I hear sisters, because I can remember a time where sisters, really, from what I can remember, you would hear a sister speak, she would always tend to play it safe. She would always tend to, be non-agitating, and this is from as far as I can remember, right? But when I hear sisters speaking on, things like we need a museum, when I hear sisters speaking on certain aspects, all I can do is give honors and take that as a sign that it's definitely something in the ethers, right? So with that, I'll leave my Moors in peace. I did have one additional thought. How, when we think about how Ravana, right? First, when we think about Herod, how Herod called the wise council, right? Herod called the Archelaus, the son of Archelaus, the son of Herod Archelaus, right? He called in council all the wisest men. And I remember when I thought I knew something, even before I joined the Moorish Science Temple of America, and I had heard about the Council of Nicaea, and and it was made to be a bad thing, they had a council among themselves and they did this with Christianity, so these were the things that were going around before I, was able to come into contact with the Prophet Noble Drew Ali to give me a balanced understanding of life, So, and then when you think of Ravana, who called all the wisest sages, in and thought about the needs of the world and thought about the needs of, I believe, India at that point. Most correct me if I'm wrong, that, you know, I don't know if the council is a good thing or the council is a bad thing. But I know that those who stood in positions of divine and national in history, or of just earthly, like Herod, you know, they were just on that one track. So peace and love.
Peace and love. Praise the Lord. Islam, sister.
And Mark, just really quickly, just the, tomorrow is supposed to be the eclipse, the lunar eclipse, where, there are different things that are, going to be happening as far as in the atmosphere and on different areas of the world. Where some, I think in New York City, we're to have no more than a 90% coverage, where I believe in Texas, they may see a whole percentage, so depending on where you are, so even that, things that we see with our eyes are just an illusion. And so from one area where they're standing with the United States of America, you do not need a passport to go to, they're gonna see a completely different view of what we're seeing of the sun as far as in this imagery. But within those times, I like to kind of set a thought, set an intention, and kind of keep my mind focused. When there's a certain level of silence and stillness, even amongst the animals and amongst the things of the universe, because of that change that's happening, that I try to encourage myself to delve within. And I think that's a really great way to start the understanding of the moon and the sun and its interaction in that particular phase and time. And so we're not saying you're worshiping it. The sun is not a law, though his noblest image. And so I think that that's just something to stick to. And I love the thoughts on buying this and buying that more. I think when we get to the ideas of $9 is not enough for dues, when we get to the idea of inflation and recognizing what we need to bring to the table, but I think that we can then come together on a grander scale and make ourselves a oneness, have a oneness amongst ourselves. I love the museum thought. I think we can even, I think that's a beautiful, beautiful idea. Thank you for that, though, peace.
Praise Allah. Probably say, gonna say 8% of the Europeans, that they're good farmers. You know, and like I said, probably said, the European helping me, why not you? It's your problem. See?
That's right.
You gotta work. We in uplifting business. We uplift fallen humanity. We want to bring humanity back to the point where it's supposed to be back. There's only one true and divine way that peace may be obtained, and that's what? True love, true peace, freedom, and justice being taught universally to all nations and all lands. So you got to charge. We got to charge. So that's why we got to work hard on ourselves and see ourselves and work on ourselves. But we got to be the example. That's the only way you can be that magnet. You know, because you go say you're gonna rule, you're gonna rule again, but this time you rule in love.
Praise Allah.
It's brother.
We're gonna have Brother Coleman.
Brother Coleman, right here, Brother Coleman. Islam, Brother Coleman. Do the English cover. Islam.
Islam, Islam.
Islam, Brother J. Coleman.
Islam, Brother Ferguson there, praise Allah, honest to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I was reading the general laws as said by the Prophet, right? And it said, and to be a real Moorish leader, you must study the Quran and the divine constitution that is handed down unto you by the Prophet. So I was reading that and I was just thinking, I'm like, wow, the Prophet gives you everything right in front of your face. What you got to do as a Moorish American, a Muslim, is just to study him and imitate him. And when you imitate the Prophet, you could be a leader. You know, sometimes we could get caught up. You know, sometimes we could get distracted. But at the end of the day, study. We got to just keep studying ourselves, just like you said. We got to study ourselves. And when we study ourselves, we got to keep studying ourselves. But Islam, you are the children of one father, provided for by his care, and the breast of one mother have given you suck. Let the bond of affection therefore unite you with our brothers, that peace and happiness may dwell in our Father's house. And we separate in the world, remember the relation that bonded you to love and unity, and prefer not a stranger before their own blood. If thy brothers in adversity assist in us, thy sisters in trouble forsake her not. So shall the fortune of our Father be contribute to the support of his whole race, and his cares be continued to you all, and your love to each other. Peace, Moors. Sunday school.
Praise the Lord. Islam, give your attention to our Assistant Secretary, Brother I. Smithy, as he reads today's financial report.
Islam?
Islam.
Yes, Lord.
Moorish Science Temple of America, Temple number 34, finance received for April the 7th, 2024. Received a public collection of $8.33. We received $135 for Fezes for Temple 71. Uplifting Fund received $5.33. Travel Fund $9. Local Building Fund $5.33, coming up to a grand total of $163, and total attendance in person, online of 32.
Jeez. It's, you heard the reading of the financial report. What's the one of President Moore? No, Sister Jones.
Says, I move that the financial report be accepted with any corrections, if there be any.
Sister CC here.
Oh, it's fine. I second the motion.
It was moved by Sister E. Jones, Page, second by Sister C.C. O'Leary, that the financial report be accepted with necessary correction at the end. You heard the motion, are you ready for the question?
Question.
All in favor of this motion, show by the most fair vote. Praise the Lord. Secretary,
Islam?
that's been carried. Islam.
Carried.
Praise Allah.
Praise Allah.
Islam, Brother Chairman, I just had a question. I wanted to know what was the attendance? I didn't hear that. Please.
32.
32.
Praise Allah.
Praise Allah.
Islam, I like to make a $25 donation from Temple number 1, and I will give with Brother Ahmed Bey so he can send it to the temple today after we get out of Sunday school.
Praise Allah.
Praise Allah.
Thank you.
I had a question. Thank you so much, Granchikas. I had a question. We got a donation from Quina Cook, Q-U-I-A-N-A Cook. Kiana for $40, but she didn't say what it was for. And the payment is from Cash App Long Live Cardo. Anyone know who that is? At first I thought it might be a cook bay without the bay. Anyone know that? Anybody know on Zoom? Know his name? All right. We try to figure it out.
All right.
Don't forget more to remember to put a notation. I see Brother Turner Bay made $3, but you didn't say what it was for?
I forgot, I just told him.
Okay.
All right.
You let him know what it was?
Yeah.
What is it for? Just
Don't.
Donations. Peace.
Praise the Lord, boys. Yeah, it's a temple. Temple is a sacred place, Lord. Temple is a place that you want, that you build. The prophet, this is the prophet house. And we're part of that house. Your brothers and sisters. And we have to set the example. Never mind what it appears to be. You don't get caught up in what, because people get caught up in what seems to be. We make judgment by what they are, not what they seem to be. So, you know, because the illusion of the world. We don't get caught up in the illusion of the world.
That's right.
You know, because we know everything we see, because the prophet bring it to us to take it to another level. That's why my she is passionate. We are passionate about this movement.
That's right.
Because that's how the elders were. When we came up, they told us don't change nothing, don't add nothing, don't subtract nothing from this. Let's keep it the way it is. You know, we got to represent our prophet, no matter what. You know, no matter what, don't be afraid. Represent your prophet. They're gonna tell you a lot of stuff about those. You're not no. We know he's a prophet. We know he was Muhammad. He was all the old prophet of old time and climb. Jesus come again. So,
right. Brother Thurman?
Yes. It's on, Sister
F. Hill Bay. This is Sister F. Hill Bay. Would like to donate.
Okay, Sister F. Hill Bay. Go ahead, sis.
Would like to donate $10 toward public collection.
All right.
From Temple number 1.
All right. Praise the Lord. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So Islam, that would be $35 coming to Temple number 34. Thank you. Good.
Do they have a Zelle, or how do we send in our donation?
Then that's just going. The Grand Sheikhs is going to send it in. Well, no, they have an app. I just don't know how to do Cash App. All I know how to do is Zelle, but they do have a Cash App. And
So I'm gonna call you after and I'll hook you up on how to do it, all right, sis? I got you. I'll work
okay,
with you. The C-Still bill, it's fine?
Islam.
Put it back on.
We need to help each other along the way.
Raise. You can say she didn't used to know how, now she will know how.
Mhm.
Next week she'll know how.
Yeah.
Praise the Lord.
Anything else? I'd like to thank everyone for the contribution physically, spiritually, and financially. I pray Allah continue to guide us. I pray Allah continue to protect us. I pray Allah continue to shield us against all negative forces seen and unseen. And don't forget your rally prayer before you go on the edges and the highway in this bad human drama. Always put the forces out and put a thought about healing the world. Because cruelty is making the world awry. Cruelty is making the world awry. Cruelty is making the world awry. You know? And like I said, we want to turn hate into love. Change the whole ether, the whole dynamics. The love is the only savior in the world. Praise Allah.
Praise Allah.
Thank you, my sister.
It's in front of the picture, praise of the prophet. Or you have to give it a gavel.
Oh, the gavel, praise the Lord.
Praise Allah now to the prophet. All right, face the east. Repeat the Moorish American prayer. 5 fingers on the left and the right feet at a 90 degree, 45 on each side. Allah, the Father of the universe.
Allah, Father of the universe.
The Father of love.
Father of love.
Truth.
Truth. Peace.
Freedom.
And
Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation. By night and by day. To his holy prophet,
Jurali.
Jurali.
Amen.
Amen.
Islam, baby. You over there.
Bye, family.
Islam.